Hello folks. Any moment now, the Israeli military machine will be in full swing. More than 300,000 members of the IDF will surge into the Gaza Strip to carry out its version of justice for the hundreds of Israeli citizens who were murdered by Hamas terrorists just over a week ago. Men, women and children were massacred in a surprise early morning assault that exposed serious flaws in Israel's defence systems. In some of his strongest language to date, US President Joe Biden likened Hamas to ISIS and urged Israel to respond. In fact, he says it has a duty to respond.
Like every nation in the world, Israel has the right to respond, indeed has a duty to respond to these vicious attacks.
So, now comes that response, and it will be severe. Having seen this firsthand while reporting from Gaza in 2014, Hamas targets will be obliterated day and night. The death toll will go far beyond what it is now, and yes, many innocent civilians, including children, will be killed. There will eventually be temporary ceasefires at various stages to allow paramedics into some neighbourhoods, but they won't last, because ceasefires flimsy at best and can be broken by those with itchy trigger fingers. At the centre of this conflict is a disputed 35-acre mosque complex claimed by both Israelis and Palestinians. It's usually the starting point for blood that's spilt in the region. Back in April, Israeli forces stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque in East Jerusalem, firing stun grenades and tear gas at Palestinian worshippers, which came during the holy month of Ramadan. There was a similar raid 2 years prior in 2021, which kicked off more bloodshed. Israeli police said the reason for this was because several law-breaking youths and masked agitators brought fireworks, sticks and stones, stun grenades and rubber bullets and barricaded themselves inside the mosque. The Hamas attacks were planned by enraged Palestinian mastermind Mohammed Daif, who, according to Reuters, said it was triggered by scenes and footage of Israel storming Al-Aqsa Mosque during Ramadan. Daif is Israel's most wanted man, who rarely appears in public or on TV and is likely hiding in Gaza's vast network of underground tunnels. When Hamas launched its terror attacks last weekend, it was called Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. So, what is Al-Aqsa? Well, Al-Aqsa in East Jerusalem is considered by Muslims around the world to be their third holiest site behind Mecca and Medina. Muslims refer to it as Al-Haram al-Sharif, or the Noble Sanctuary, where the Prophet Muhammad is believed to have ascended to heaven. Jews call it Temple Mount, their holiest site, built by King Solomon 3,000 years ago. According to the Wall Street Journal, Iran played a pivotal role in the depraved assault on Israel. Kylie Moore-Gilbert is an Australian academic who was imprisoned in Iran for more than 3 years. She pointed to clear evidence of IRGC involvement, Iran's Revolutionary Guard. On the weekend, she wrote in the Australian Financial Review, quote, "I can still remember the exact words of my interrogators in even prison. According to our supreme leader, in 15 years, we'll be praying at Al-Aqsa Mosque. Any Jews who don't want to be slaughtered in the process can go back to Europe where they came from," she wrote. Moore-Gilbert went on to add, Western governments, including our own in Australia, failed to tackle the challenge of Iran's transnational terror network, one of the few foreign policy decisions the Trump administration got right was adding the IRGC to the United States terror list in 2019. Unfortunately, a single-minded and myopic focus on reviving the moribund JCPOA nuclear deal has led the Biden administration to turn a blind eye to Iran's other malign activities. Remember, it was just a few weeks ago the US struck a deal with Iran that allowed the transfer of $6 billion in sanctioned Iranian funds to be exchanged for 5 American hostages, cash that critics say could be freed up to support terror groups such as Hamas. Iran might not have received the money just yet, as this latest attack had been in the works for years, but the question now, could it be spent on other nefarious activities and assaults down the track? You see, this is very, very complex. See you next week. Thanks for watching.